Do you see what I see? Bad joke. To start a podcast, Dr. Oliver, how you doing?
I'm doing good.
Thank you for allowing me to come here and
No,
sit
I
down
really
and
appreciate you asking.
educate the people on what we need to be doing out here as far as what we can see. And to go ahead and bridge the gap between is nearsighted this or is farsighted that, you know what I mean? Because
Right.
people get it mixed up, right?
They get them mixed up all the time. Probably the most common thing that I talk about is just what's going on with your eyesight, and they'll say one thing, and I'm like, that's what it sounds like, but that's not what it is.
Right. So just to go ahead and get into it, I am here at Oliver Eye Associates, ladies and gentlemen, and you are now rocking with the Dap and Hug podcast, and I'm very honored to have my optometrist, Dr. Oliver, here, and we're going to educate you guys on some things, and hopefully you'll find some of the stuff fun and entertaining. But I do got to say, shout out to Troy at Troy Wellness, my sponsor. If you want to get in shape, adult down to kids, he will take care of you. And he specifies what you need versus anybody else. He's going to take it slow with you, and everything's good. So holla at Troy Harris at Troy Wellness located in Rock Hill, South Carolina. So
He's a good dude.
he is solid.
Yeah, man.
Triple OG. OG, triple OG is what I said this morning. We recorded this morning.
Did you really?
It was
You're a
fantastic.
busy man.
Yeah, I stay busy nowadays. You know what I'm talking about?
I know what you're talking
And
about.
I'm loving it too, brother.
Well, I don't know if people want to know. You and I met, I don't know if you remember.
Okay.
It was 11 years ago when you came in. You'd broken your glasses, couldn't see, and you're like, I need some glasses, man. Did the exam, 2014, and you're like, what's this here about vision correction?
Yeah,
And
L
then
word.
you went down that path, and I'm sure we're going to talk about
The L word.
the L word.
And we ain't talking about love, ladies and gentlemen. We talking about LASIK. But we'll get there here after a while, y'all. Just be patient with me. How did you and your family get into optometry? Can you just take us back to the days when you guys were, I don't know, talking about it, or was your granddad? And I don't know. If you could please enlighten me in the audience, I'd appreciate it.
I'll do the best I can. I've told the story many times because, it's my father wanted to be a dentist actually, and shadowed a local dentist. He's from Burlington, North Carolina. Saw him, and I guess at one of the clubs. My dad did a lot of clubs back then.
Mm-hmm.
He met a local optometrist. And he's like, you need to come in. You're looking at some kind of medical field. And he brought him into his office. So he saw the dentist office. He saw the optometrist office. And he just gravitated to that. So he finished college, taught chemistry at Elon right outside of Burlington, and then applied and got to optometry school in Memphis, Tennessee. Graduated from there in 1963. So that's kind of how it all started. So we graduated from there, came down to Charlotte while my mom was pregnant with my older brother and partner, Scott. So he wasn't even born yet. I wasn't even thought of. And he was looking into Charlotte, coming down to Charlotte, North Carolina. And this guy was Dr. Bailey. And he goes, well, I also want you to meet somebody down in Rock Hill. He wants to show you around Rock Hill. It's an up-and-coming town.
Mm-hmm.
The man picked him up in his pink Cadillac, and instead of being a 30-minute to an hour drive around Rock Hill, Vernon Grant showed my father Rock Hill for 8 hours.
I didn't know we had that much of Rock Hill. It is growing, though.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it was small back then, but he took him to every little detail, and Vernon Grant was a great man, obviously, always done with Snap, Crackle, and Pop and what's going on at the museum. But Dad was like, I got to move to Rock Hill. So he moved down here. They built an office out of a bus station on Hampton Street, downtown Rock Hill.
Uh-huh.
That building doesn't exist anymore. Was there for 7 years. And, of course, getting in with the community, he met Dr. Dent Graham. So Dr. Dent Graham had gotten here in the 40s.
Okay.
And where our sign is out front, that was a white house, and that was Dr. Graham's office. They just got to be very close friends, and like, wow, we got to do this alone. Let's try this together. So where you're sitting right now, they built this building in, I think it was 70, 71. It's been built onto 3 different times. And all I knew was my dad was an eye doctor. I didn't think too much of it. I wanted to be an orthopedic surgeon. Big change, right? Scott, my oldest brother, who's my partner, he went into college wanting to be a musician and teach music. He's very gifted. Both of my older brothers are very good musicians. My next oldest brother, Keith, is actually a professional drummer.
What about you with the music side?
Yeah.
What do you
I played the saxophone. I was nowhere near good at music as they were, so I stuck with sports.
Harder than hell.
I tried. They were gifted. So Scott changed his mind somewhere in college and went on into optometry. I followed him to Elon. Our father went to Elon as well. And I was thinking the whole time I was going to do orthopedics. Guy across the street from me, Dr. McQueen, orthopedic surgeon here in Rock Hill. He patched me up many times. But we had a really good conversation, really eye-opening conversation in about 86 about where healthcare was going. And he wasn't optimistic about what's going to be in the future for medical doctors, not owning your own practice, being owned by insurance companies. And a lot of what he said didn't come to true, but a lot of it did. So I was like, okay, what is it that my dad does? He seems to have a good life. He's not having to go up to the hospital in the god-awful hours of the night. And I sat in with my dad a couple of days and watched him treat patients and just how we talked to him. And then we sat down and had a real conversation about what it is, what it can do for you. And I kind of fell in love with it then. I was like, that's pretty cool. I mean, my dad's a great guy and have been a mentor, but it was just something about the reality of what it does for people, because people they do come to us when they're hurt, but most people come to like you did. You lost your glasses. You got to see, and everybody wants to see. Everybody has a pair of eyes, so they value that. So it really became something that I really fell in love with. Just happened to come back to Rock Hill to be with my family. I was actually in Charleston for a few years, putting my wife through PT school.
Okay.
And thought that I was going to stay there. And Dr. Graham was starting to want to retire. A older optometrist in York, South Carolina, Dr. Parrish, was about to retire. And he called my dad up and was like, hey, I want to get rid of my practice. You got anybody that you might want to send my way and maybe buy the practice? And that's how I got back to here in Rock Hill.
The timing of it all.
It was just, everything was just, you thought you were going one place and then a different opportunity. It was an opportunity to get back to Rock Hill. And we started this little, what we call the satellite practice in York, and grew that, brought in an associate, Dr. Alec James, who's got the practice now. We sold her the practice 12 or 13 years ago.
Right.
So we just kind of separated, and Scott and I wanted to keep the legacy here because my father did such a good job starting it from scratch.
Right. Carry that torch.
Yeah.
I respect that.
Yeah.
And I like how y'all got reunited, with the timing and everything. You came back to Rock Hill. You were reunited with your family.
Well, look, I can't tell you how many times professors in optometry school said, you're crazy to want to go into practice with your family.
Yeah.
They never get along. They never work. I've been here since 1995 with my dad and my brother, and I think we get along great.
That's a good dynamic, man, obviously. Non-toxic,
Non-toxic.
That's a blessing.
Thank you.
It's a blessing to be able to choose the people you work with. You know what I mean?
I do know what you mean.
I just did an eye wink for the people that are not sitting in this room, which is everyone. But I see what you're saying.
Yes.
Get it? Nah. So I got a question. We're going to switch gears a little bit.
Sure.
I was just at the house. I let my daughter play with her tablet for a little while before we left. And just out of curiosity, like in your opinion, like what has the advancement of technology, including like cell phones and tablets and like the screen time situation, affected the overall health of our eyes? I mean, so you can go ahead and talk about the different age groups and everything as well.
Oh, listen, it's across the board.
Yeah.
So you said something earlier on about nearsighted, farsighted.
Yeah.
I think we got to define that first.
Let's do it.
What does that mean? So when people say, "Oh, I'm nearsighted and I'm farsighted," well, sometimes yes, it's rare. Nearsighted is just what it says. You take your glasses or your contact lenses off, and you can see things up close. Sighted at near. You look up at the board in school, you can't see anything.
Right.
Because the optics of the eye are too strong. They're making the world too big, so it's blurry to them. But they can see here like somebody putting on a pair of what is it? A monocle to be able to see.
Oh, yeah,
up
the
close.
monocle
Right,
joint,
yeah,
yeah.
right. It just magnifies things.
Right.
Well, that's set in the eye, too strong, they can't see anything.
Yeah.
Farsighted is not necessarily what the opposite of it. It's not sighted at near. There are some people that are so farsighted, the medical word is hyperopia.
Hyperopia.
Hyperopia. Medical word for nearsightedness is myopia.
Myopia. Gotcha.
So these are Latin words. I am not going to be able to bring up what they mean in Latin, so that's why we're doing this.
Ladies and gentlemen, if you need to get a pen and a pencil, a piece of paper, do it in your phone, go ahead and do it. I will be taking notes for
Here we go. So there are some people that are so hyperopic, farsighted, that they can't see far away either, but they also can't see up close. So that person's eye is too weak. Sometimes if they have a strong enough muscle within the eye, they can strain the muscle to help them focus. That can make an eye turn in towards the nose, cross-eyed, right? If it's a high enough power.
Right.
Okay, so when we get to technology, I grew up, and I know you grew up, we didn't have this stuff. You were born in 84, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So I was born just a little bit before that.
You know what's weird? I'm sorry to cut you off.
Yeah,
I'm
that's
OCD
right.
about this. You said I came to you 11 years ago, and I was born on 11/11, weighing 5 pounds 11 ounces at 8:11 a.m. or p.m. or something like that.
Holy mackerel.
Matter of fact, while I'm at it, my mama said this, and even the nurse was like, "Did you hear that?" When I was born, I said, "Mama." I came up out the womb looking for a podcast microphone. Brother, do you understand what I'm saying?
Numbers mean something, man.
Sorry to get off track.
No,
Let's get
funny.
back to where we were. I
That's
apologize.
good stuff.
Thank you.
We are obviously a developed nation, all right? So with that, we have the technology that comes with it. Look at Japan. They've had the technology probably before us. Japan is a smaller country. People are packed into smaller areas, so they don't get to be outside as much. You grew up going outside. Your dad probably whistled at you to come home for dinner. The lights flicker on, you know, the street lights flicker on. Time to get home, right?
What's that? The key?
Latchkey
Latchkeys.
Latchkeys. So we were not inside looking at tablets. Maybe we had one TV, you know, and it was at Zenith. It was big and
3 channels.
3 channels, maybe 4 if you could get UFH or whatever it was.
Right.
UFH. Anyway, so with that technology and being indoors more, we're doing near tasks more often.
Mm-hmm.
When you go to the gym and you work a muscle, does it get bigger and stronger or smaller and weaker?
Well, the muscles tear down,
But
correct?
they build.
Then they build.
Did they rebuild?
When you recover.
Okay. Our eye muscles, the ones that focus, are smooth muscle, not striated muscles. So they will fatigue, all right?
Mm-hmm.
But they also strain. The eyeball is a closed system. It's not a balloon. It won't blow up. So when you're working a muscle and you're making it stretch, the eye stretches. You become more nearsighted, too powerful. You see things up close. My eyes are getting, every year, doc, I come in and you have to increase my prescription. Okay, why is that? Well, some of it's genetic, and some of it's what we do with our eyes. We were not born, evolved to be nearsighted.
Mm-hmm.
We were hunter-gatherers. We were outside. We didn't want, if we were nearsighted as cavemen, we wouldn't exist.
Yeah, we wouldn't
Everybody would
survive.
take care of us. So we could see things far away. So as we became more civilized, built houses, communities, and stayed indoors more, we used our eyes in a different capacity. So the norm is to be born small and weak, a little bit farsighted, grow out of it, and hopefully never need glasses until you're 50. And those are usually reading glasses. But the kids that either genetically, because of, genetics are multifactorial. You look like Aunt Susie and Uncle so-and-so, and they might be two different sides of the family, right? Because you get that mixed bag. The same thing happens with the eye. Anyway, I can get real geeky with this. You know that. I can get just as geeky
I
as...
nerd out right with you, bro.
Right. So where we're going with that is how to control it. And that's the big emphasis in optometry now, is to try to control when we do see a child that is becoming nearsighted. Whether it's genetic or not, it can be made to be more nearsighted with what we do with our eye. And we can certainly talk about some of the techniques that I talk to my patients about to slow that down.
Please
There's
do.
treatment options to slow nearsightedness now. Why? Why do we want to do that to a nearsighted person and not a farsighted? Because a farsighted eye is not stretched. It's not overworked. So when that nearsighted eye gets too stretched and they get older, there's a higher incidence of retinal detachments, the film within the eye that makes us see. Because it stretches, it's got nowhere to go, it can pop loose. You get punched in the eye, yeah, that can happen too.
Yeah.
But walking down the street, a highly nearsighted people has a higher risk for that. Glaucoma, higher risk. What is called myopic maculopathy, the center part of your vision, can be stretched. Those cells we call the photoreceptors. Best way to kind of understand that is resolution. Okay.
Yeah.
Remember the first digital cameras, and we thought that they were great.
Yeah.
And now the digital cameras have so many lines of resolution. We have so many lines of resolution to our center vision. You stretch that out, you don't get the quality of vision that you could get if you weren't highly nearsighted. I'm gonna let you.
I don't. I don't. I'm gonna let that sink in and marinate and go to my subconscious. I'm gonna sleep on it.
Sleep on that.
And then if I have a couple questions, I get you a call tomorrow. I probably need to set up a appointment to get my eyes examined. It's been a while.
It's been a year and a half.
Okay. LASIK. Now, there's a lot of rumors. I don't want to say rumors, but just people say certain things about it that discourage other people from doing it. Like things were said to me that had me a little iffy and reluctant to go through with the process. But I'm very happy that I did. You know what I mean? So, what are some of the non-truths that people are saying about LASIK surgery, and what are some of the positive things and the possible side effects, negatives? Like, what can possibly go wrong during the process or afterwards?
Excellent question.
Loaded question,
loaded,
and I was
because it's like any elective procedure. Any elective, you don't have to have LASIK. Okay, you can wear glasses. You didn't have a high prescription. Even the person who can't see past 6 inches in front of them can wear contact lenses.
Well, see, hold on, let me stop you right there. But see, my issue was I would fall asleep with them at night and roll over and crush them
And break them.
Yeah. So
Yeah, I get it. There's many reasons why people come in and seek it. Can't wear contact lenses anymore. They exercise and they fog up. There's many reasons to do it. Screening the patients and certainly just being upfront about their health of their eye. It doesn't change the fact that that eye is still a nearsighted eye. So all you're doing is changing the optics of the front surface of the eye, the way the glasses change how light enters the eye.
You know what I think gets people? You just kind of mentioned it. Don't they like peel the little flap off or something?
Yes.
That's what gets people.
Yeah, that's what gets them. Yeah. But, picking the right person, I'll get to that. Picking the right person, making sure they understand at age 29 that hopefully they're going to be 39, 49, 59 years old. And what we know happens, regardless of whether or not LASIK was invented, is normal aging. We're going to need help seeing up close somewhere in our 40s, something called presbyopia.
Right. That's
hardening
when
of
you
the
got to.
lens in the
Yeah.
eye.
That's
Okay.
why we got to get the reading glasses, right?
Right,
Okay.
right. So it doesn't fix that. So they really early on, there were advertisements that says, throw away your glasses forever. Yeah, well, that person who was 38 years old and had LASIK, and now they're 42 and they can't read up close. Oh, my surgeon lied to me.
Yeah.
Well, he just didn't inform you correctly. So surgeons are smart. They're like, okay, we're going to make you less dependent on your glasses. You haven't needed glasses for 11 years for anything, right? And you
Correct.
never will for distance again either. Okay.
But I am 40.
But you're 40. So eventually you're tall, got long arms. You can stretch things out a little bit. But a good surgeon who is not doing it just to make money because he can is who you're looking for. And we have those surgeons around. The surgeons that were what they called the cataract cowboys in the 80s. And hey, that dried up. So they did RK. That dried up. LASIK came. These are not always great surgeons. They're after the dollar that the new fad gets.
Mm-hmm.
Surgeons that we have that we refer to, they probably turn away more people than they do surgery because they want that patient to understand your eye still has to heal. You have to do everything that we ask you. You have to do follow-up care. So the nightmares that I've seen is somebody who had got surgery. They were so happy. They got off the bed. They looked up. They could read the clock. They'll tell you what time it was when they got off of that surgical bed, and they could read the clock. When they came in, they didn't even know it existed. Gets in a car, throws the top down, drives 2 hours home, and dries his eyes out. So there's a lot of it is patient error.
Yeah.
They're excited. They can see some of it's stupidity, some of it's forgetfulness. But I think the good surgeons and people like us, my brother and myself, who are affiliated with good surgeons, we have good follow-up. We make sure if you don't show up for that follow-up, we're going to call you. Say, you just had surgery. Get in here. We got to make sure that what the surgeon did worked and what you're doing is healing.
Now, that would be the answer to the question, what sets you apart from other possible optometrists? Like, you do take care of people. You do. I'm assuming you go ahead and the day that the LASIK surgery is set up, you have something like a follow-up thing as far as an appointment goes set up already, and you probably call people in advance on that because you are trying to get ahead of that,
right,
and be on top of it. And that's fantastic, and I appreciate you.
Thank you. There's a difference in the eye care that my father started doing and what, by the time I got out of school, optometry was so advanced.
Uh-huh.
So he came out and it was glasses and contact lenses. There was not a law passed that allowed him to put a drop in your eye to dilate your eye.
What?
Back in the 60s and early 70s. So that happened later, being able to treat glaucoma, be able to take a foreign body out of an eye, to be able to treat dry eyes. Those are the things that came later with better education, the technology that you're talking about. Yeah. You remember being dilated.
Yeah.
You're all day long, you were blurry. Mm-hmm. We have a system here. It's called Optos. It can take a picture, a wide field of everything in your eye. One picture, not 10 of them, one picture that gets your retina, your optic nerve, your macula, everything within the eye. And if there's not anything unhealthy, you don't need to dilate. Dilation is a means to see within the eye because the pupil is so small. Now, if you're diabetic, if you have glaucoma and macular degeneration, those diseases need to be, those patients, I should say, with those diseases do need dilations from time to time, but not at a routine eye exam.
Gotcha. Thank you for breaking that down. Very good job at articulating, explaining that. A lot better job than I could have done, obviously. So now, you and I had briefly talked earlier. Can you please explain to the audience what ATP is? And that's adenosine triphosphate. And what role does it play regarding the health of our eyes?
Thank you. That's a really, I'm surprised at that question. I told you when you came in, that's you've done your homework. So ATP is basically the fuel that powers every cell in our body. Not just the eye, every cell has to have that. And there are things that deplete it, and there's things that can enhance it. Nowadays, we talk about micronutrients now,
Mm-hmm.
and we can talk about some of the micronutrients that are good for your entire body. Your eye is connected to your body. One of my professors always said, healthy body, healthy eyes. You're not going to see bleeding inside an eye on somebody who is not diabetic. Now, they may have high blood pressure. They may have other things, but their overall body, if it's healthy, the eyes are going to be healthy. But yes, we also age.
Mm-hmm.
Aging is nothing more than our body rusting very, very slowly.
Yeah.
Rust is nothing more than produces in oxygen. It turns into why can't I say this? O3. Why can't I say it?
Iron.
No, dadgummit.
What is the?
It's just going out of my brain right now. Give me a second.
Yeah, take your time.
Oxidation.
Oxidation.
It's a free radical.
Free radical.
Right. So normal oxygen has two molecules. If you add a third molecule to it, to oxygen, it's destructive. That's why we see rust on metal as it gets water, heat, that changes oxygen to the free radical and it destroys it. We are being destroyed by free radicals within our body. So this is why people talk about micronutrients, superfruits, antioxidant vitamins to take, because when you put that in your body, it helps reduce the inflammation within the body and the destructive forces, which are going to happen anyway. We're going to die. Even if you're very healthy, you're going to die, hopefully, of just being old, right?
Yeah, it's inevitable.
So ADP, ATP is, again, it's the fuel that powers every one of our cells. Now, when it comes to the eyes, eyes have a high demand of energy. The only time there's very little demand is when you sleep. So when you open your eyes, light hits the retina. Chemical processes happen over and over and over again, millions and millions of times. Then you're focusing on things and you're looking at things far away, up close. Those are all changing the demands on that muscle. Unlike your leg muscles and your arm muscles, if you go run a marathon, your legs are going to fatigue, and the next day you're going to feel like mush.
Mm-hmm.
That's striated muscle. The smooth muscle within the eye, the focusing, uses a lot of ATP, so we have to replenish that, but we also can deplete it. So questions are always, well, what depletes that, right?
Mm-hmm.
One big one is screen time versus books. You look at a book, it's a piece of paper. The eye can hold focus on it easier. When you look at a screen, it has a flicker frequency and the eye recognizes it. Plus there's depth. We're looking at games. We're scrolling the wrong direction too. The eye is not designed to go up and down. We scan the horizon side to side. So this eye movement up and down works two muscles that aren't designed to do that. So you're depleting skeletal muscle. You're depleting smooth muscle when we're doing a lot of screen time. Plus the energy just to process the changes of light and color. I'm trying to think if there's anything that would go along with that. Recognizing what we do if we recognize when that's depleted, fatigue is one big one.
Mm-hmm.
Not being able to focus from distance to near. Now that again happens with birthdays, but the average 20-year-old
Mm-hmm.
that is on a computer for 8 hours and then tries to go do homework. Maybe he's playing, now he's trying to do homework and he falls asleep. That's a fatigue that ATP has been depleted from.
Yeah.
Right?
Gotcha.
We tend to see less color. It's not as vivid. The cells in the back of the eye are color cells, what we call photoreceptors. That's what give us the color. So they get depleted. So if you start to notice, hey, that doesn't look as vivid, that's something that is telling you. And also trouble seeing in dim light, Now that happens also with age, but again, I'm talking about your average teenager, 20-year-old, 30-year-old. That's their job. They're in education. They got a new job behind a desk and 2 computers. Used to be 1. It's 2 and 3 computers people are
I
looking
can
at.
relate.
Right?
Yes, absolutely. Thank you. The red light therapy thing. What are the benefits of that?
So that's, again, part of, it's a wavelength of light that they are finding more and more benefits from.
Mm-hmm.
So again, when we're talking about trying to energize the ATP in our body, let's go into micronutrients. So I'll get to the red light. Micronutrients are things that are in good vegetables, green leafy vegetables, lutein. There's going to be one word I'm not going to say that I can't say, starts with a Z. I'm not going to be able to say it. But it's in green leafy vegetables. That's why we talk to our patients with macular degeneration, because it also helps take the free radicals out of the eye.
Yeah.
It has micronutrients to those things that the eye needs. Carrots have vitamin A, which is an antioxidant. It doesn't make your sight better, like, oh, I'm going to eat a bunch of carrots and be able to see. It helps the chemistry within the eye, okay? Gotcha. Red light stimulates ATP, right? Where can we get it from? The morning sun. Go outside. Don't look at the sun, but go outside. But morning sunlight has a higher wavelength of red light than the afternoon and the evening does. That's more blue light at the end of the day.
Okay.
Blue light is what is in our devices that we're staring at this far from our face.
Yeah.
That depletes it.
Yeah.
So you can help it by micronutrients, green leafy vegetables, mitochondria. You've heard of that?
I was going to ask you, I'm glad you mentioned that. I was going to ask if like ATP, I couldn't remember if it was ATP or the red light therapy that played a role with the mitochondria. Because that's very important on mitochondrial levels, right?
Yeah,
like,
that's the
that's the powerhouse, right?
That is the powerhouse.
Yeah.
There's a lot of stuff out there on that now. I'm not as quite familiar. I know that there are supplements that help our mitochondria. CoQ10, did I say right? CoQ10 is one of them. It's usually for heart health. You know, people have had heart attacks. They might be on a blood pressure medicine, but a lot of time the physicians are it's an over-the-counter micronutrient vitamin that you can tell to help support.
Do you take it?
I don't.
Okay.
I don't have heart issues, thank goodness. My father does. He takes it. Magnesium, another one. Magnesium's, that's a really big can of worms, because there's like 14 to 18 different magnesium preps. You get the wrong one, you're going to the bathroom all afternoon. It can be a laxative. There's some that help you sleep. There's some that help your muscles. Yeah. So I would suggest, if you're looking at these things, to really do your homework. There's places around here that do nutrition, Supreme Nutrition, some of these vitamin depot places.
Wait. Shout out to Supreme Nutrition, Ty and Billy, and the rest of the crew. I was over there earlier and chopped it up with Billy. He's a good guy. What up, Billy?
They know their stuff too.
They really do, well. Man.
I didn't realize that was a thing. You know, we're just learning about these micronutrients, and I'm like, you don't go to Publix and to the pharmacists over there. They don't know the micronutrients. They know their drugs.
Yeah.
So you find the people that know this about your body better.
That's why I'm here. You know what I'm saying?
Omega-3 fatty acids.
Yeah. You get that in like salmon.
Huge, yes. Salmons, anything natural. Nuts, different nuts have them. So the more natural you get it, the better. But fish oil from fish is better for the body, better for your joints, really good when it comes to dry eye. Like,
oh boy,
really
my mom has been dealing with that lately.
Yeah. But it's the doses that you need to take. Mm-hmm. The average dose, if you just get a bottle, is going to be day-to-day, just keep you there plateau. You got to double that dose for the eye. There was even a prescription omega-3 that a lot of the cardiologists would prescribe for their heart patients. It was somewhere around 6,000 milligrams of omega-3s, and it was certainly microdosed better than just your GNC stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you can geek out on all that too, man.
Right.
You really
Definitely. I got one last question for you. Like, what words of wisdom would you have to share to our listeners about like the importance of taking care of your eyesight, and not just for the vision, but for your overall health and well-being?
Yeah, that's a great question. It's a big question too, I think, because we are more and more. When I say we, optometry, ophthalmology, American Optometric Association is trying to get out there that when I look inside your eyes, I see blood vessels that if I cut open your arm, they're 5, 10, 15 times bigger than what's inside the eye. I can see if your diabetes is going the wrong way. I can see if plaque is developing in your blood vessels of your eye. And if it's happening there, where else is it happening? Brain, heart, lungs, kidney, spleen, you name it. So, yeah, we care about having a nice pair of glasses. And if you're into sports, wear contact lenses. That's a wonderful thing that we do because we give that person that sight. But that I hear it all the time. Oh, I'm 49 years old. I'm starting to wear reading glasses. I've never had an eye exam because I've had such good vision. I'm like, well, what else is going on? You're not going to know if the pressure in your eye is going up and down through that because you can't feel it. So it's finding the routine eye exams, just like going to your dentist, twice a year, making sure the gums are doing good and there's no cavities going. We can see things in the eye that are like, look, if you don't change what you're doing health-wise, it'll affect your eyesight. And my wonderful glasses in here and those wonderful contact lenses aren't going to do you any good if you don't take care of what's happening within the body.
Yeah.
And that's what primary care optometry is really all about. It's more of it's not just glasses and contacts. We take care of from the time that you're 6 months old, 8 months old. If your parents have really bad eyesight, we want them in early to see that developmental, all the way till you're geriatric and need cataract surgery. God forbid we have macular degeneration, but there's still great things out there, even for people who are starting to lose their vision. There are low vision devices that can have that person watch TV that for 5 years they couldn't watch it because their macular degeneration was slowly destroying them. There are devices out there that can help that patient see things that they didn't realize they could see.
Yeah. Interesting.
That's the take-home message is no matter where you are, there's something there that can make your life better,
Right.
maybe by sight, maybe by nutrition, but I'm really passionate, particularly about my diabetic patients. I don't think they're informed as well as they could be. I think any physician who is treating a diabetic should have at least a consult with a dietitian. Because if you're 60 years old and you're 120 pounds overweight and you're told, your A1C's up, go home and diet better and start to exercise, how daunting is that?
Right.
So I try to counsel my patients. I'll take an extra time with them and talk to them about something. I'll give them resources to go to and say, I'm not an expert in this, but neither are you. So let's both get educated on this. Go to this site, read about this. And I think that's a lot of what optometry does is help guide that patient from not just eyesight, but a better overall health throughout their life. Because we can see that change inside the eye.
Excellent. You did that, man. You know your stuff.
Appreciate it.
Like, seriously. I hope everybody listening took a few notes because I learned something. But I for real seriously remember back when I got LASIK, though, and y'all were adamant about the follow-up.
Yeah.
Thank you. Y'all
Absolutely.
do care. Seriously. Y'all care about y'all's patients, and I can vouch for that. That's why I'm here.
Yeah.
You want to go ahead and say your address and where you're located exactly?
Oh, thank you. Yeah.
Off of Wilson Street, right?
North Wilson Street. It's 406 North Wilson Street.
Right.
Some of the landmarks are Albright Realties around us. There's the Scuba Shop, the Journeyman Legal Remedies around the corner. But we're right off of Oakland Avenue. Been here since, like I said, 1970, 71.
Indeed. Yeah. Hey, you ever been scuba diving?
I have a long time I got my scuba license when I was in college. This guy over here, Mike, he's the real deal, man.
I'm about to go check him out sometime because I want to go scuba diving eventually. I went snorkeling in Puerto Rico one time.
Yeah.
And it was such a good experience, man. Like the bioluminescence bay.
Oh, right.
I got to go back out there and take Sweet Girl. She has to see that, you know what I'm saying, and experience that. So, all right, Dr. Oliver, it's been a pleasure spending some time with you and sitting down and educating the folks out here in the community. Y'all come by and check them out. Don't forget to give them a dap and a hug and be respectful. And that's what it's about, respect and love, a dap and a hug. Thank you for tuning in. Peace.